Hi guys, today I am going to discuss about functions and file handling. So coming to functions, what's a function? Function. The function is a block in which we write a piece of code that can be reused again over and again. So why do we need a block like function which can be used again and again? For example, I'll give you a scenario that we have a requirement that we have to add two numbers again. To add two numbers, we have to first assign a value to the two variables b is equal to 6, and we need to assign another variable to store the result of this operation, and we need to print this and we need to print this result, right? So this is how we will add two numbers, and we have another requirement to add another two numbers. Then what should we do? We have to write the whole code again, right? A is equal to 3, b is equal to 5, c is equal to a plus b, print c is 8. So here the same code, the same method is repeating over again and again. So to prevent this rewriting of the code, we have to use the function. So as per the programming standards, rewriting the code again and again is not recommended. So for that we will use functions. As I mentioned, function is a piece of code that can be reused again and again throughout our code, and we can access the function throughout our code, and we can call the function at anywhere, at any time we need. So how do we define a function? So to define a function, there are two things we have to discuss about. First is function definition. Second is function call. So first we are going to talk about function definition. This is where we are going to write our piece of code which we are going to use again. For example, as I mentioned earlier, if we have a requirement to add two numbers, we will define our code. We will define our function like this with the starting of def keyword. So this def keyword indicates Python that we are writing a function. To write a function, we have to start with def keyword, so that we are indicating the Python that we are writing a function ab. So normally in other languages we'll define a code like this in the format of curly braces. But coming to Python, we don't have this kind of format. So to alternate to this format, we will use indentation. So we will use this indentation, right? So this is how we will define a function. We will define a function with a def keyword, and we will pass the parameters as per the requirement, and we will return the result as per the operation. Second is function. So it's okay, we define the function. How can we call this function? How can we make this function work, right? So to make this function right, we'll call the function. Call this function. We have to write this function name, and we'll pass the arguments, right? Arguments in the sense the values of the data. So here this part is called function call. We are declaring the function. In which we are passing these two values as an arguments, and coming to here these arguments will become parameters, and we will perform the operations as per our name. So this is how we will define a function. This is how we will call a function. For example, there is another scenario that we don't know how many arguments we are going to pass. So at that time there is a concept called star args and double star args. Def function double star args. and this is how we will define our function, right? And now we have to call this function to make sure this function works. Function. Here the requirement is we don't know how many arguments we are going to pass to this function. At that time, okay, I forgot to mention one point. So that generally in functions, the number of arguments should be equal to the number of parameters we pass. Right? For example, definition function. I pass only one parameter here. Return a here. In this code, what I did is I passed two arguments, but I only declared a one parameter. So that what Python will do is throw an error that you are passing only two arguments, but here you are declaring only one parameter. So at that time, the Python will throw an error that these parameters and arguments should be equal. So at that point, this Python will throw error that your arguments and parameters are not matching. So what if we don't know the number of arguments we will pass? At that time, there is a concept called star args comes into the picture.